and start off with the quick shots. So the first one that we got is that there was some news that Jim Ryan had, I guess, gotten in an interview or whatnot, and he decided that him and Sony wanted to have more crossplay games. And I thought that was actually interesting that he would mention that, right? Because it seems, with the We Love Gaming, conspiracy theory is that PlayStation has changed a lot of how they've worked as soon as Jim Ryan came into the CEO position, and it seems as if they're trying to figure out how they can poach money from any and every orifice that they possibly can get their hands into, and this was one of them, right? I mean, a few podcasts ago we talked about how they have like this crazy concoction of a contract where if you have a game available on all platforms that offers in-game purchases, if somebody has played the game once on the PlayStation console but they've purchased in-game currency on another console such as the Switch or the Xbox or PC, that PlayStation then gets a small percentage of it, just to allow the crossplay, for you to be able to crossplay, like for you to move from the PlayStation to the Xbox to the Switch to the PC with that same account, with the same characters, and never have to start over again. So, with this, and then him saying like, oh, I want there to be more crossplay. It's like, okay, cool. But they still have, at least to my knowledge, they still have this crazy contract where they require all of this money for all of these weird ass reasons that they give, like with percentages and stuff like that of how they play, right? I mean, they're still having issues with Gearbox for crossplay, I think with like Borderlands and all that other stuff, so if you're still trying to get money, with this elaborate way of like, oh, if you ever sell anything, I should get a small percentage of it if they've ever played on my console.
Right.
Like, do you feel that this is like bullshit? Like Jim Ryan just talking, or
I think
what? Like, is there any kind of
yes,
weight to it?
I don't think that this is Jim Ryan laying out his vision for PlayStation's future. I think this is entirely a response to backlash from negative press on this stuff. The whole Epic lawsuit and all these things leaked from that.
Right.
And, Epic trying to make Sony look good with the crossplay and Sony saying no.
Yeah.
All that we went through a few weeks back, that whole bad press.
Right.
I think this is Jim Ryan coming out and kind of like trying to say, no, look, we're
Mitigate
changing
damage.
directions. I don't think it's like this grand new vision that he's dreamed up and wants for PlayStation. It's just honestly pure response to negative feedback and negative criticism that they've received. Because I think had this not been leaked, they would have kept business as usual. Like
they're still doing business as usual.
Yeah, and then even like he says one thing, right, but then behind the scenes, it's still like it looks like you're still trying to gouge everybody.
Yeah, because he was, they asked him about Gearbox, and he was like, "Well, I can't talk about that right now because we're still in talks." With like negotiations and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, if you honestly wanted crossplay, right, you would make it.
If that was your
some
vision,
of the most,
that was your heart's goal for the PlayStation platform.
Right. You would make it one of the most easiest things to do.
Exactly.
Like, it shouldn't be difficult. Like,
exactly.
I don't know why it has to be. Why can't it just be that if they're playing on the PlayStation and they purchased through the in-game on the PlayStation, that they can get a small percentage of that? Cool. But when you touching everything, just because somebody attempted to try to crossplay, you know what I mean? Like if I like playing, like if let's say we go with like the Xbox and the game cloud theory, right? If I start playing the game on my Xbox and then I move to the game cloud and I run off or whatever, like, you're going somewhere portable. So if I started playing on my PlayStation, but I want to play some more matches, I got to go on a road trip. So I'm in the back, mom's driving. I got my small phone and I start playing Fortnite on my phone. You tell me you get a piece of that pie too? Because I bought V-Bucks off of my mobile phone? Like, that, then you eliminating the whole interest of them wanting to make the crossplay, right? And that's like one of the nicest things, right? When you could pop in Destiny and your characters are available on anything, if you got an Xbox, PlayStation, whatever.
And it doesn't seem like the reason why I'm calling BS more is only because it seems like the PlayStation isn't interested in crossplay unless the game is like a massive hit, right? Like where it feels like Xbox and PC and other platforms, they don't care if the game's a big hit or not. They want to give you the freedom to play across whatever platform you want to play it on.
Right.
Where Sony's like, I feel like the only games that you can actually even cross-platform at all on Sony games are like the big massive hits like Destiny or Fortnite. True. Like you can't crossplay on Borderlands, you can't crossplay on Outriders, you can't crossplay on these little games, that
Outriders ain't little, but yeah.
They're little compared to Epic, compared to Fortnite, right? Compared to like Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Outriders is little. That's what I mean. Like it feels like or I guess you can say even little, even compared to I was gonna say Rocket League, but that's probably still big.
I guess if I was looking at Square Enix is like net worth roughly around like $2 billion, and then Epic is worth like $30 billion.
Yeah, so I'm just saying like it's not little. I'm just in
retrospect, like if you're looking at it and the big picture.
Yeah, relative to Fortnite, it's little,
right.
And it seems like Sony doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody unless they're this big, massive, $30 billion potential net worth. Then Sony's like, okay, maybe we'll crossplay because there's lots of money in it there.
Mm-hmm.
Where if they really just, like you said, cared about crossplay, it'd be across any game. Any game that's cross-platform.
Yeah.
We want that freedom for you.
Any game that's available all over each console,
user,
you should just be able to do it.
Yeah, we want
right?
you to have that freedom and that fun and that joy. But it's like Sony's only seems to be interested in crossplay if there's any massive Warzone, Fortnite, Minecraft level IP.
Right, because wouldn't that be interesting if you were to, like, let's say Biomutant, right? Like, you got it on the PlayStation, but you wanted to play it on the Xbox. If you were able to just continue your story and character from Biomutant on the PlayStation onto your Xbox with no problem. Like, you don't have to restart it again. It's just there. You know what I mean? And that probably is like, having to do with something like maybe the games having their own server, and having like some type of a cloud where you could download the information from or whatever.
Yeah, the game itself has a cloud.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
but I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, I definitely think things like Outriders, MMO type stuff or whatever should definitely have that feature.
I mean, I feel like Microsoft would be like, totally. If Sony will okay with it, we'd be okay with it because you'd have to get Sony's permission, right? Microsoft will gladly let you transfer your Xbox file over to. I feel like Microsoft would be much more willing to add that feature into their repertoire of offerings for their user. Where it'd be Sony who's the one who's like, nah, we're okay, we don't need that, right? Unless it's Fortnite, then we'll consider it, and then we'll consider it as long as there's a deal to be had.
Yeah, and right? I also figure like a lot of these companies is kind of looking at it like, oh, we would do crossplay, but they just like if I put any in-game currency type of stuff in there, it's like okay, they're poaching it the moment somebody tries to play on that console. So I kind of don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make every little bit of money I can, and that's not helping. So, and it seems like it would be like anything, right? If you just played one time or something like that on the PlayStation, and then you just started buying currency because you play it on PC, you like it better. It just works better for you.
Even one time, now you're stuck.
Yeah, and it ain't that one-time purchase. It's like all of the purchases because they have an account on there. It's like,
are going to be sliced by Sony a bit.
Yeah, it's like all of my DLC content, all that shit that you just bought solely for the PC, Sony gets a cut of that. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And so you got Sony's cut, then you got whatever Steam cut or whatever else.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. It's
so,
still worth it to Epic, and it's still worth it to Activision with Call of Duty and stuff because Sony's got such a huge player base that you need those players playing your game. So you're like, fine. But Jim Ryan acting like this is like, oh yeah, we're wanting to be more convenient for our players. No, you're not. Like, had there not been the backlash and the leak, you would keep doing this. Honestly, in my opinion, I think they would.
And I think that they're still going to do it. Like,
and then even that's true.
If
right?
you're still in talks with Gearbox, then you really haven't changed nothing.
You haven't changed your direction at all.
Because it's still Gearbox just looking at the paper like, okay, we still got to think about this. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just Jim Ryan covering their tracks.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as like crossplay goes, you know, I kind of like consider it a wash anyways. Like I think it is what it is at that point. You know, it's like, okay, it'd be awesome if I could move, but I don't really be moving around with games like that,
I
you
think
know?
with you and I too, we're old gamers,
Hmm.
and that's always been the way. Like if there's a game
The game is
on
on the Xbox, it's
Sega,
on the Xbox.
right? Or we're talking about like back when we had Segas, right? Like if the game's on Sega, I can't take that cartridge and put it into my Super NES.
Right,
Like
right.
we've
And
it's
start
kind of
playing
been
it.
like a standard, but now in the internet age,
When the online
crossplay
age
has
and all that
become more
stuff,
of a
yeah.
thing, and it definitely seems like Sony's just out to profit from it rather than offer new services to their users.
Right, rather than to utilize it, they're just trying
Utilize
to
it,
figure
yeah.
out how they can make money from it.
Right.
And it's like I get the business aspect of it, but I
Sure.
mean, do you really need to bottleneck it that much?
Well, and also just don't lie to us. Be honest with us. No, just say, Jim Ryan, no, we really try to get as much as we can out of every IP we have. We try to make the best deal we can for our company and the profit of our industry. Dude, just be honest with it. Don't pretend like, oh, we are big believers in crossplay, and then have no real effort to show that that's what you believe. Like you're saying, still do back deals with like Borderlands and stuff.
Yeah, he basically said, I think towards the end of it, he said that the same procedures apply to everybody. So you
Right.
know what I mean? It's not like we're giving favoritism or something like that. You know, but
Right.
moving on. It looks like
Sony.
yeah.
I love you, me.